I think for me, I'm in such a space of sensitivity with everything. I can remember every single thing in this season. I am living the best season I have ever lived in my entire life. And
Yeah.
I can say that unwaveringly. And there are not any areas of my life where I am not fulfilled in the things of God. Do I have $1 million? Absolutely not. Am I where I want to be professionally? Is all things in my life like just great? Absolutely not. That's just not how life works. But I am in such a full place with the Lord that even those spaces that I have identified as empty, the Lord even fills those. And so I am in a season where I have continual testimonies. Like every single day, I look for something new. And I'm grateful for it. I did not know, excuse me, a couple years ago that I would be on the other side of this as good as I am, as good as I am, as healthy as I am, just changed, transformed anew. And I shared with a friend of mine just recently, and I said, I would not change anything.
Mhm.
Absolutely every single thing that has happened in my life has gotten me to this very moment in life where I can say, to God be the glory. It
Amen.
is an overwhelming space. It's such a space that you just can't do nothing but give God praise, from having a heroin addict dad and a drug addict mom, and molestation as a child, not growing up in the very best of circumstances, coming home and clothes and stuff are on the street because we've gotten evicted, or coming home and my mom don't have on clothes because she's tripped out on drugs, and being in close proximity to the school and people seeing that and making fun of that. And just having a very early, deep understanding of the Lord, even that now I say, to God be the glory too,
Yeah.
because I would not know the Lord as I know him now. I would not trust him. I would not rely upon him. I would not allow him to lead me if I had some of the comforts that I believe other people have. Not to say that if you're in this world comforted that you should not have relationship with God, or you can't have relationship with God, because there are people who grew up in two-parent households where it was healthy and they still have great relationships with God. But for me, I believe that it was a humbling thing. It was a thing that would allow the character of God to mold me into who he called me to be and established me to be before the beginning of time. And my story is very, very unique. I learned of the Lord when my mom was getting high and we did not have enough money for food. So my mom had at the time 3 children, my older brother and my older sister. My older brother went with my grandmother, who's my mom's mother, and my sister went with my dad's mom. So by the time my mom got to her third child, which is myself, it was like we don't even have a capacity for another child. So I experienced life with her as she went through addiction, as she did the things that come along with addiction. I can remember as a very young child sleeping in laundry rooms and her kind of making a paddle on top of the washer and dryer, and her getting high and keeping an eye on me as best as she could. And in those moments as a child, you don't understand it, especially when you hear of a Jesus, especially when you hear of a father. How could there be this
Yeah.
father and you would allow these things? But as I grew up, and my mom would send me to church so that I could get food. She would
Wow.
send me to church on Sundays so that I could get the morning breakfast. I'll never forget it, at Memorial Baptist Church, right off of Jasper Street in Southeast Washington, D.C. And Young's Memorial, that's what it was, Young's Memorial Baptist Church. And they would give me food. Like nobody ever questioned why I was at church by myself. It was so many people. And they had the best breakfast ever, like buffet style breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as I got older, I was probably not even a teenager then. And I realized as an adult, my mama sent me to get fed, and I got fed. I got
And you
fed.
got
I
fed.
began to
Yes.
have this Jesus to pull on my heart. And I wouldn't know until I got 13 about what the sovereignty of God looks like, what the fathership of God looks like. Because oftentimes we take those human experiences and we package those up and we make them gods of our lives. And it really does a discredit to God. God is enormous. He is big. If you look at the Bible, there was a plan. He designed things very, very well. And we as human beings, our moms, our dads, our grandfathers, our ancestors, they made choices. And sometimes we are impacted by those choices. But it does not change the fact that that was never how God originally orchestrated things.
Yeah.
And I got that understanding at 13 years old. I will never forget it. It was just like a ton of bricks hit me. And I knew that I was loved by God. And I think that that was the moment that redefined a lot of things in my life. I've never gone really crazy or went astray. Everybody has teenage years. But I can just see pockets of my life where the Lord really, really was with me, even as a teenage girl. And my mom got clean when she had my youngest sister, who is 13 years apart from me. So I am 40 and she is 27 now. And when she got pregnant with my younger sister, she got clean. Never went to an AA meeting, never did anything else, just decided to stop. And that's what she did. And I remember her after she got clean. She was not a good mom or the best mom, let me say, but she wasn't bad no more either. Like, she didn't put us in compromising situations. It came with stability. And I remember a friend of mine in junior high school getting pregnant in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And my mama made me sit on the porch after that. I could not go anywhere. And I thought she was the meanest mother ever. Thought she was the meanest mom ever. I couldn't spend a night over my friend's house. This was one of my only friends that I had that I could go and spend a night, because my mom had a rule: if there were men in that household, I couldn't go spend a night at people's houses. And so this was a good, safe friend. But once she got pregnant, my mama cut that thing off.
Let me tell you, Dana had a friend like that. You can't go over there no more.
That's
you
it.
can't go.
Something is going on over there that you ain't doing and you ain't finna do. And so